Hello and welcome to Mabinda TV. So for now, I'm looking at Edwin Sifuna. So do you think Edwin Sifuna is the heir apparent of Raila Odinga? Do you think is Edwin Sifuna the heir apparent to Raila Odinga? So the 2027 election is going to be a defining election according to Pastor Tim Wangi, the evangelical pastor. This is the last election in which tribe will be a factor. After 2027, the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas will be the majority voters, and for this vote, issues and ideology will be much more important than the tribal numbers. It is said that power was a vacuum, and that's why Edwin Sifuna could be the leader that the Gen Zs have been looking for. Edwin Sifuna is the embattled Secretary General of ODM. He believes that ODM should not go into a coalition with UDA party, but the ODM oligarch have since come out guns blazing, saying Sifuna should either shape up or shape out. Let's picture a scenario where the opposition is formidable enough to win the 2027 election in 2002. After the opposition win, the conservative weekly news magazine, The Economist, described Kenya as a beacon of hope in Africa. In 2002, after the opposition win, citizens openly arrested corrupt police officers in a newfound system of zero tolerance on corruption. In 2002, after the opposition win, the late cabinet minister Karisa Maiza openly swept the streets in a new sense of servant leadership. In 2002, after the opposition win, Kenyans were ranked the happiest people in the world. So you can see how the opposition win of 2002 had a tremendous effect on Kenyan psyche. So and that's the mode of the opposition win. Edwin Sifuna has tapped into the sense of imminent opposition win in ideological terms. Edwin Sifuna is the heir apparent to Raila Odinga. He is a social democrat as Raila was. That is a left of center politician. According to Kisii Senator Richard Onyanka, Raila Odinga's spirit lives on in Edwin Sifuna. What Edwin Sifuna should know is that he is now bigger than the Nairobi senator position. When he teams up with Papowino, Caliber Missy, and the whole Mwananchi brigade, they will make a formidable force. The old guard in ODM could have the instruments of power, but it is Sifuna wing of the party that has the people and the momentum. According to Masa Karua, Kenya needs a series of one-term presidents for the president to take their job seriously. That's why the underlying theory of presidential term limits is that it is better to truncate the rule of a Sensei Mandela than extend the reign of a despot, say Idi Amin. In Africa, it's very hard to beat an incumbent president, but some countries have shown that it can be done. For instance, in Zambia in 2021, then opposition candidate Hakainde Hichilema beat the incumbent president Edgar Lungu. In Botswana in 2025, for then opposition candidate Duma Boko beat the incumbent ruling party BDP candidate that had been in power for nearly 6 decades. When what Edwin Sifuna now needs is a movement. According to former national columnist Peter Warigi, a movement is different from a revolution. A movement adapts, it changes, it mutates, it is fed from the ground up. Even when the leader of the movement is compromised or killed, the movement moves on because it is fed from a million inflection points. And for Edwin Sifuna, really, now is the time to consolidate the youth vote. Let him urge the youth to take on voters' cards. In the last election, 8 million Kenyans did not vote. So that means President Ruto is a minority president. 8 million Kenyans did not vote, and 6.9 million Kenyans voted against him. So basically, President Ruto is a minority president. Bad leaders are elected because good people don't have turn up to vote. Imagine the difference it would have made if these 8 million people voted. President Ruto won by just 200,000 votes. For Sifunan groups, they shouldn't be rushing to join the united opposition for now. Let them consolidate the Gen Z vote and then shift the narrative of our politics from tribal to issue-based ideological politics. Let Sifuna frame its issues around the fact that he is a left-of-center politician that knows you can never put a words on a teacher or a doctor. We can't be Singapore if only we voted based on ideology and not on who has the largest tribal numbers. Sifuna is loyal, yes, but to play in the big league, he needs to outsmart the old folk who play by the tribal numbers. In a sense, then what Raila did not get, or rather Rich Kana Sifuna will get there. So do you think Edwin Sifuna is the heir apparent to Raila Odinga? Do you think Edwin Sifuna is the heir apparent to Raila Odinga? So you let me know in the comment section. So for now, bye for now.